Good morning. It is an exciting time, although it's raining, so nothing's really going on outside right now. But we are right around the corner from some very good things that are going to take place with regards to our bond. So a real quick update. Northeast, those bids have been awarded and the project is moving forward. So some really good pieces around that one. That project will be an inside and an outside project, so a couple different phases. You will see them begin work, some demo work, and then they're going to tear apart the locker room, the old locker room, while students are still in school. And then as students transition out of school, they're going to transition into those populated areas. So the existing offices and the library and media center renovations that are going to take place there. And then as the students come back in the fall, they'll go back in and finish up the new office entryway.
Absolutely. Some site work too. We're going to separate the auto traffic from the bus traffic, so we're, again, safely move about the sites as we get all.
And that's something we really want to hit on. Is we've been able to do some additions to these projects really right from the gate, things that weren't necessarily spec'd out, but because of the favorable bids that we've seen come in. So Northeast is also getting new parking lots,
A
little bit of playground rework,
some new roof as well.
a new roofing that's going to come in there.
Yep.
So there's some really neat things that are coming to Northeast, including some large group collaborative instructional spaces. And that's a theme that our teachers and our staff and our students are going to experience really in every building across the district as we kind of roll forward with this. So that's something very exciting about Northeast, but again, some new transportation, new bus loop kind of parking, and really working on that piece of the safety and security. Cascades has been out to bid. Those bids came in. And we are in the process of vetting those right now.
Correct. We've been having interviews with each of the low bidding contractors, the two low bidders, so we've been seeing who's responsible, who's responsive contractors, make sure their bids have everything included, so we can go ahead and award those projects coming up at Monday's board meeting.
Yeah, and if everything holds true, again, I think you're going to see some really fun stuff. I hope you'll like what the new building will offer to JPS, and a lot of the things that we're able to do with inside that new building, we are trying to roll those instructional ideas forward into our other existing buildings as well.
Absolutely. We have technology projects that are going to happen over the summer as well. New short throw projectors for early adopters, and a couple of buildings that are getting E-rate wiring over the summer, so that's kind of exciting, with the furniture as well as the technology.
So in addition, obviously, John hit on it. We've got new furniture coming for our early adopters. The first week of July, they're going to really be here to roll out those roughly 50 classrooms. But there's about 110 classrooms that are getting technology upgrades right out of the gate. Every teacher machine is going to be refreshed. So let's talk about what that refresh might look like.
So we have, again, to go with the short throw projectors in each room, we'll have iPads and MacBook Airs that connect with those short throw projectors, so you can mirror cast and walk around the rooms, so it'll give the teachers a little more freedom.
And that's an Apple TV setup, so you'll be able to throw your iPad up from wherever you happen to be standing within the classroom, or you'll be able to switch between that and your MacBook at the same time. And then I believe there's opportunities our students will ultimately be able to throw some stuff up there as well. And by the end of 3 years, all of our staff machines will be renovated or replaced into a much more mobile-friendly environment. So that's on the to-do list. Jackson High is the last project that we can actually or safely say we're getting ready to close the books on from phase one. Remember that Jackson High is a multi-phase project too. We've got some exterior work and some interior work. The interior work is coming at the very end of the bond, and there's some reasons for that as we take a look at how this all stages out. But the new pool is very, very close to done. It's design, it's all there. I think right now we're working on filtration systems and heating systems and ventilation systems and the mechanical end of the pool.
Correct. So before we can start, call it digging the pool, we have to do some work on the east side of the high school, site work, so we can have a place to put all that parking and traffic flow while we're working on the pool. So we've got some site work that'll happen starting in the next week or so, and that'll happen throughout the summer.
Yeah, so that's a big chunk of us. We realize that this is going to create some inconveniences for parking. I recognize that. But in the end, I think we're going to have a safer parking lot with dedicated spots for parents and dedicated spots for students. Should keep our bus traffic separate from all of the above. Should create some additional spots for staff and employees at the high school to really help open up some of that campus without necessarily creating, traffic clusters. That's kind of something we're trying to avoid, kind of moving forward. They are redoing the gym floor though right now. That's on the to-do list. You want to talk about that process?
Yep. So we moved the baskets and created 3 separate basketball courts, practice spaces, so to speak, and then with that we had to erase all the lines, sand it down to the floor, refinish the floor. So that'll be exciting to see when kids come back in the fall.
And that floor is going to be absolutely gorgeous. When they sand that down, they get rid of years and layers of finish on top of it, and so you get right down to that really natural maple color. It is truly beautiful. But we have to do that right now prior to the construction of the pool, because as they start working outside and they start, all the dust that gets created on a construction project even outside the building,
Correct.
will filter into that gymnasium area.
Right. And you don't want that dust in the finish as you're doing that.
And you don't want that dust in the finish. So we are very close with Jackson High. We are just waiting for the bids to come in to round up for Cascades Northeast is under construction. We have met a couple times with Lincoln. That user group has met a couple of different times, including a site visit down to that property to kind of walk and scope out the property. I think that you guys are all going to be very excited to see what comes with Lincoln Elementary. It's going to be a school, again, an opportunity for us to reinvent ourselves and a lot of opportunity for us to take the best of what is JPS and reopen a building that's been closed for quite some time. Should make us very competitive in the marketplace, and so I know that I am very excited. I hear a lot of the community members talking about it. If you are interested, please don't hesitate to give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to share what we've got going on. Dibble's a little more extensive because
it has a small addition, about 6-room addition, but also has some site work and some interior work as well. So it's a little more involved.
So there's some more work at Dibble. Hunt is primarily going to be a media center and a front entryway offices.
That safe and secure entry and a little bit of site work again near that entryway. So it's exciting for what we're doing at Hunt as well.
And then I am anticipating that before the end of the summer, I will have our Parkside user group meeting begin to start. That is a significant undertaking. That's going to be one that's going to have kind of that inch-worm process. It's, there's a safety security aspect of it. There's an office aspect of it.
Science wing
aspect of it, and a classroom aspect of it. Music is, there's a lot to do in Parkside, and so we are very excited about what's coming with that as well. But I did mention security. You want to real quick talk about what we've got going on there?
So again, security, we've talked about how parents and students access our building, both during the day and at the beginning and end times. We have cameras, we have card access, we have emergency operations plan that we're redoing. We have a partner that we're working with, Compliance One, that will help us with training for the staff as well as the students as we get into that. And those will be rolling out as we move through the year.
One thing that's probably really important to talk about is that Compliance One piece. We really have focused our bond conversation around safety and security, but it is much more than the physical plant. It's much more than card readers and access controls and cameras, although there's a lot of new and updated cameras throughout the district. It is very intentional training for our staff, and so every teacher is going to be trained next year. It's about a half-a-day training per building. They're going to come in. I know lots of people have said, can we do active shooter drills? Can we do things like that? We are really looking at training a process, and so Compliance One is going to come in. They're going to do every building for about half a day each next year, and then after that they're going to break that down and do about half the district each year. And that way we can constantly keep that refresh in front of us. Okay. And that way if you are a new teacher the following year, you have an opportunity to get into some training.
Have access to that training.
So there's some neat pieces coming that way. I do want to talk real quick about some groundbreaking activities. So there is some groundbreaking coming up. I don't have those dates yet, but I'm hoping that we'll get something out to you soon. So please be prepared for that. We had some really good news on the bids though for Northeast.
Yeah, definitely. The bids for Northeast came in about $250,000 to $300,000 under budget. The Cascades bids that we're looking at for next week, those are also under budget.
Stop it, don't say it until we get it approved.
Okay, till we get it approved. If you have any questions on the budget, again, go to our website, jpsk12.org. There's a budget transparency page there. There's all kinds of information about the bonds and what's going on.
And there should be a box, I think there's a box right now on that transparency that talks about local contracts that were awarded. We are super proud, and you should be too, of our local Jackson contractors and workers and employees. So in Northeast, I believe the number was 82% of the contracts awarded for Northeast were Jackson area businesses, local contractors, local businesses, and that right there is in excess of $2 million.
Correct.
We were super excited about that. I think the number was similar over at Jackson High.
For the site work, it was about 78%.
If we could continue that trend, I want you to think about what that looks like. There's about $60 million in hard case construction associated with this project, and if we could just get 2/3 of that, that would be $40 million pushed back into
Reinvested back in the community.
into the economy, and that doesn't touch things like hotels and restaurants and other soft areas that feed the fill up at our gas stations and things like that. That really kind of feed the overall project.
Right.
But there's a lot of money coming back into the community. We are supporting our local businesses, and so we appreciate them. And if you have an opportunity to interact with those, please encourage them to bid our projects, because we want to work with them. I want to say thank you very much to our community, to our teachers, our staff. It has been a wonderful process with regards to the bond, and this investment is going to change lives. It's going to change the lives of our students and our families. It is changing the direction of Jackson Public Schools as we speak. I promise you there's a lot of exciting things to come.